It's time for Cannabis Talk 101 with Blue, Joe Grande, the Pot Brothers at Law, Craig Wasserman, Mark Wasserman. Cannabis Talk 101.
Hello, we get a direct message, and it's a screenshot of what looks like me.
On World Star.
From a World Star post.
Looks
that
like
was.
or what was?
What looks like me.
Looked like a fashion show of who knows who.
So much so.
You with a little sugar in the tank.
I had to do it. I was looking at it going, I don't remember wearing. Then this person was wearing heels.
Well.
And I definitely don't remember wearing heels outside in public anywhere.
Not on the weekend.
I was in Vegas when all this was happening.
How ironic you were in Vegas when it happened.
And I did a double. I looked at it. I blew it up. I'm like, God, man, what is it? And I went to the World Stars page.
Did you start drinking
and it was
again?
No, and there was some
Did you test them yet?
Fashion show. Bill Nye, the science guy, was on the runway doing a little dance, and that's what the video was. And this guy comes walking by in heels in a nice colorful vest and dressed like me,
face,
round sunglasses,
goatee,
and the silver hair,
the
and
whole thing.
And then from there, we were flooded with messages. Is this Pot Brothers at Law? We were being tagged all over the place in that thing. We probably got another 500 followers out of it.
There was actually two, though, which is even funnier. There was another gentleman that was in a suit that kind of looked like you, too. So it was like a double take of, wait a minute, how is he two dudes at once?
I'm making an impact. People are trying to dress like
we got the lookalike and then the old version. If you go to any cannabis event in California, let alone Southern California, you're going to see Mark in 10 years, and then you can go to World Star and see the double Mark now.
World Star.
Cannabis Talk 101, the world's #1 source for everything cannabis.
Hey, we are going live. We are going live with One White Guy, One Black Guy podcast over here on Zoom. And let's see, can everybody hear me okay there? Thought we'd just put this up everywhere. Oh, there we go. Call using internet audio. All right. Hello. My microphone is muted. Hang on. I don't hear anything. Got my volume up. Can you hear me? Technical difficulties. All right. We're waiting to get logged in here. Right there.
Hello, hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. I don't think they can hear us, and I don't think we can hear them. They're working on it.
We can't see them either.
You might have to flip your screen to the left.
No, I'm on my iPad. It's
Oh.
I can see him. Oh, there, I can see him now. I wasn't in galley mode.
We can't hear them, I don't think. We hear each other.
I can go. I hit join with internet audio or something.
Yeah, we're good. If we can hear each other, we're good. It's and I've got us here on Twitch and Facebook. Well, why not YouTube? And I got you right next to the mic. Should be able to hear everything. You guys can hear my brother, right? Out there.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Hey,
Hey, Mark, you hear me?
I hear you.
I can hear you now.
Hey, there we go. Finally. Jesus.
Technical difficulties, man. We love it.
Part of
You
the
got it.
part of the
2020.
process.
We wouldn't be who we were if we run through the problems first, right?
How you guys making out today?
Very good. Very good.
Weekend, just chilling.
I see we got the joints already going.
Always.
Wow.
That was 4:00 this morning.
I like the way you roll. I've been getting yelled at by my fiance for smoking too early, so I had to cut back.
All's fair.
Yeah. So, I mean, great news. Jersey just got legalized.
Yes. Just 3 states
5 new
left.
states.
Yeah, it's
5 new
insane.
states went. I think 3 went medical and 2 went adult use.
Yeah, Oregon went a little hard.
Yeah,
Everything.
really hard, and they're like, we don't give a fuck what we're doing.
That's right. It was you shouldn't. It was the best thing they could do is decriminalize possession of all that shit.
Yes, because I was talking to my cousin.
Does a lot more
about this.
damage.
It's good for both sides because then, like, I was looking at it from a cop's point of view. It's like, dude, the worst thing I hated was searching someone that was like on heroin because they have needles hidden everywhere.
You let him know you're cop. Like, if anybody, obviously, he was a retired cop and all like that. But he used to go through the motions and all that with people just having it on. And that's more time that they run, to do all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's stupid shit. It's like they don't want to get caught with anything.
It's time wasting for both sides.
Yeah.
Because they come right back out the next day. Even if you do charge them, or they just get a summons and you send them on their way. And it's just like.
So I got a question for you guys. I love the whole what you guys are doing. How did you guys start off? Number one, did you guys like, you know what, we're gonna be the Pot Brothers and we're gonna
Did we start the podcast?
No, I'm just asking you a few questions. I'm doing a couple test runs right now just to keep things going,
like a warm up.
Yeah, no problem, Because when we do our podcast, we the experienced ones, which I wasn't. I'm not an experienced one. I just come do what I do.
Yeah.
And it happens to work. But they always tell me, save it for the show. Save it for the show.
Yeah. No, what I like to do is I like to have like a little video, a little hype video posted on the on Instagram. We know exactly, people get to see what you're doing, what we're talking about when we go into the podcast.
He's the mad genius.
I try to direct it the best I can.
Awesome. Wow, that's great. So we when it came to Pot Brothers at Law, I mean, it was really my brother was practicing law a good 10 years before me, and I came into the picture and I started doing criminal defense, and at some point I started practicing in 1996 when Prop 215 passed in California, and I went right into criminal defense and representing patients getting busted. And I was getting a lot of cannabis cases, and where our offices, we'd always go in the parking lot, smoke, on our breaks every, 10, 15 minutes or whatever it is. And we were smoking one day, and I said, hey, we're brothers, smoke pot. I'm getting all these pot cases. I'm going to make cards, Pot Brothers at Law, almost kind of as a joke. And that was probably about 8 years ago, even 9 years ago or something like that. And then we fast forward to 2015, January 22nd, 2015, when we actually created the Instagram account just after we did an interview with a guy named Adam Ill at Be Real TV, Getting High with Adam. And because my brother's kid, my nephew, had been bugging us for years, get on Instagram. You guys need to get on Instagram and have a page. So we took Pot Brothers at Law and threw it up on Instagram, having no idea in the world other than, maybe it's on social media. We'll get a few new clients out of it and give some helpful information out to people. But we didn't know what was coming. That was just
they bombarded your inbox. You're probably getting followers every 3 seconds.
Yeah.
You do it right, because you put out some great videos.
You do. No.
Well,
I saw you guys have that shirt on.
As my son tells me, it's organic.
I love my favorite thing is the shut the fuck up.
That's what did it. That's what.
It's so accurate though, because all you really have to do is shut the fuck up.
I'm trying to bait you into saying it
because the more you talk, the more you give.
It's
a lot.
It's stupid simple. It really is. It's just shut the fuck up when cops ask questions. Now, we had no idea that it was going to strike such a nerve into the fabric of society across the world, because when we started and when we caught fire on social media in 2015, that's about the same time more and more of the cop bullshit was getting exposed, and we're seeing more of it. And so our teachings were kind of aligned with if you go back and look at everything, the trajectory of all the cop shit and our uptick and how we started coming on to everything. And, now we go restaurant shopping. Hey, it's the shut the fuck up guys.
I go then. Say shut the fuck up.
And it's funny because when I was working, now that I'm done with all that, unfortunately, so it's crazy because before body cameras came out, I'm not going to put anything out, but there was a way this dude has a roach on him, I can turn a blind eye to it kind of thing, because everyone knew it was bullshit. So
you had a lot of good cops out there that didn't really give a fuck, but then you have all those bad ones. People think we're all shut the fuck up, fuck the police, and we're really fuck the bad police.
Yeah.
Fuck the bad police hard, but there's unfortunately it's probably a minority of the cops are good. I don't know. I've never done an actual fucking survey, but we do get DMs all across the country from police and law enforcement thanking us for the script.
Yeah, it's true.
Very good. The show.
In my eyes, I always thought after a long day of work, seeing something fucked up that hit you hard, you definitely should have been able to go home and light a joint up over going to the bottle and fucking drinking it.
Oh yeah, you're preaching to the choir, man.
You know what I mean? It just fucks you up 10 times harder.
It's absolute ludicrous that that's legal and you can go to a bar and get so fucked up that, you don't know which way is up, but you can't go smoke a joint and chill. And if you're too high, you're not going to fucking drive.
Yeah, you're stuck in a chair in another dimension.
In the couch.
That's like, right. I seen Mark ripping a dab the other day.
Oh, yeah. I'll be taking some dabs during the show.
Hey, clean that goddamn rig.
Oh wait, I gotta change it out, and I did clean it, you bitch.
You didn't clean it good enough. There's still a ring around it. You gotta clean that.
There's no ring. Look, that's clean.
Tobacco pipe once in a while,
There you go.
Clean.
When I was a kid, I must have been 18, 19. I forget my buddy and I forget where we went, but we smoked weed out of a tobacco pipe like that. We thought we were being really sly.
Yeah, I mean,
I love it. I feel like it fits his character so much.
Oh yeah, I feel like a professor when doing that.
Like how we met actually was because he was working for a company that I just recently started working for after I retired, and it was like a yin and yang. Like instantly hit it off. I bothered the shit out of him a lot.
Every fucking day. I would not leave. He sat right next to me, so any story he was telling me, I had to kind of listen because I really couldn't pick my desk up and move away. So it was forced. I was coerced.
I'm a talker. Like I love talking to people. So like, and that's like the hardest part. Like I miss the daily interaction with just like different people all day, and just like the best is like after like it's all said and done, and you spark up with this like a side conversation with someone who's standing by, and like I just miss that like people interaction all day.
In 58 years, I've smoked with so many people. Past a joint. God knows fucking who.
No more.
God knows fucking what I passed, what I was smoking, and I'm as healthy as can be. Knock on
wood, man.
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, that was my little introduction for the just for this get a nice little video for the gram. I'm going to close this video out. I'm going to send you guys both a new invite,
Okay.
and we're going to start off from there. We're going to do our introduction as we usually would. Then we're going to, of course, ask you guys your names. Where you guys from, how long you've been in the business, stuff like that. And I'm going to ask you just some questions that we're dying to know, man, because we're new to this whole legal shit.
Yeah, and then it's more like a free flow combo we like to do. So don't think that.
We're good like that.
Very good. Very good.
We don't like the interview shit. It's more like a free flow, us getting to know you. And
you got it. Where you guys from?
New Jersey.
From Jersey, man.
South Jersey.
South,
so it's different. So
Jersey
yes, there's difference between South and North. We'll get into it.
All right.
Send them the thing.
All right, guys. Give us a second. We'll say the invite.
All right. Wait for the new link.
All right, so I'm going to go out and come back in, right?
Yeah, leave. Leave the meeting. No, you're not going to go. You're not going to go back in. You got to wait for the new link. All right. Hey, who's in here? Jenny, what's up? Sevens, what's up? The few people who are tuning in and watching. Figured we just throw it up and leave it up. And it'll be on YouTube and Twitch for all time. Oh, and Facebook too, I guess, is on here. How you guys doing? Good, I hope. I'm waiting for this link. And then we'll start this interview. You didn't see what joint? What number joint? Oh, this is probably my 8th joint today, Jenny. And I've had 3 or 4 dabs. I'm on some edibles. Got a birthday dinner. Taking my wife out for a birthday dinner. Just me and the wife. So as soon as this is done, actually, we're leaving. I'll probably be leaving before this is done. So we shall see. 7 point. Just chilling, waiting for the link. As they say, technical difficulties. Yes, it is, Ryan. We just talked about that. I'll be talking about it again. Back. All right. There we got it. There we go. All right. All right. Waiting to connect. There we go.
Hear you. We can't see you either.
What happened to my brother? You guys don't hear my brother? Hey, Craig, if you can hear me, just log off. Log back on later. Oh, there you are.
It's funny how similar you guys are. Both of you like the same exact thing.
Yeah,
that's great.
Guys, this is the welcome back to the One White Guy, One Black Guy show. It's Kevin. Got Vinny over here.
Now it's 3-1.
Now we got the pod pro. I know. Look at now I'm still the minority. It's didn't change for me, man.
Hey, we're Jews. We're Jews, so we go with you.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well,
hey, our last guest veteran from Israel.
Israel, yeah.
Very good.
We're just meeting unique people. We're
All
like,
right.
yeah, we don't care who you are, what color you are, man.
That's awesome. Just, it's awesome that people meet on these things.
Good vibes, man. And it's like, that's why I was like, our combo.
Yeah.
A retired white cop, a black R&B singer.
Yeah.
Best friends.
Get a little Barry White.
And met in the midst of the heat, you could say.
Wow.
Like, of the tension.
Yeah.
And
right before COVID happened.
It's just like, man, let's pass the good word, man. Character.
So which one is the right retired cop?
Me. The white guy.
Over here, the white guy.
Don't make any assumptions.
No, you can't. But in this situation, you had every right to assume if you needed to.
and that's why I reached out.
I could actually profile his ass in the mirror.
Well, this is like the main reason I reached out, because I was like, man, it was like I had two avenues to go down, because I just got done my third major surgery, with a partial bone fuse and 2 giant screws went through my wrist.
Work related?
Yes. So the 3rd injury. So, well, this 3rd surgery. This is from the original injury.
Dude, I lost count.
Yeah. It's technically 5 if you count the hardware removal. But so I had like no feeling in my left arm, all that shit. So I was like, I had 2 routes. It was like, do I get my medical marijuana card and go that route, or go the painkiller route? And I was like, I seen it. You know what it does to people? I was like, fuck no. So that's when I was like, CBD every day, and I smoked, and it saved me. It really did, mentally and dealing with the pain. I was just like,
yeah, he's the type of person that needs to smoke. It's like,
I mean, actually, years ago, I still do work comp. I represent injured workers, not so much anymore with the cannabis boom going on, but I represented for years, way back in the day, a lot of law enforcement would get fucked up on the job.
I'm still waiting for mine. Going on 2 years.
Yeah.
They're trying to, I'm fighting for it.
It wasn't as easy to medicate back then, 20, 30 years ago for a cop. Than it might be now. I don't know. I hear they're loosening up a little bit as far as coming in, but they just need to change how people are trained as law enforcement, what your job really is. Protect and serve, that's what it says on the thing. It's not, okay, how am I going to get in this fucker's car? I don't care what it is. Every guy pull over. That's how they're trained. You tell me if I'm wrong.
No.
I mean, that's how the training goes. And it's what can I get them to say?
I wouldn't say every time, but I would say majority. If you think you got something, you are trained to go for it all. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Right. Like, if there's a hit,
right.
A lot of cops, if they smell, like when I was still working, they just passed a law where the smell raw marijuana gets you a search of a car. The smell. So all you have to say is, I smell marijuana.
Oh, that was the biggest release across the country.
Yeah. I smell it.
They smell it at all.
I smell it.
Let's be honest, that's a lawyer's fucking field day. That's easy.
Nowadays, especially now.
Yeah.
Especially
you know
now. But
nowadays, what's great in most of the states, including California, that's legalized or in some way decriminalized, legalized a little bit. It's not probable cause. Period. It's in the law. Smell alone is not probable cause. So it's even more important for people to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, just don't say anything. Yeah.
They got 10 pounds in the trunk, and that's all they do is smell it. If they search it without your consent, it's done. The case is done.
Yeah, they'll throw it right now.
So it's but so many law enforcement. I guess God bless them to a degree, but it still puts some people through a lot of shit. They're still putting in reports based on the smell. Like nobody's advised them yet.
Yeah.
2 years later that it's not probable cause.
And that's where we get cases dismissed, and we can take advantage of that. And we, tell people we actually get people who start telling the cop, you can't search, it's not probable cause. And they're saying this to the cop. But we advise not to do that because you're likely going to get a cop who's going to, you don't know more than me. What? And then you're going to get taken in because he's just pissed off and irritated that you think you know more.
Yep.
And then at the end of the day, if you shut the fuck up, we're going to ultimately get cases like that dismissed, which we've done. Now, if police officers would pull somebody over for speeding and give them a speeding ticket and say, "Hey, drive safer," that would be nice. Instead of like my brother said, using every obscure vehicle code to pull somebody over just for purposes of ultimately trying to get into that car, turn that infraction into a misdemeanor or a felony or something.
Well, what's his name admitted that on what was that, Live PD?
Yeah, Officer Sticks. I have a good video. I used to go in between those videos and use tutorials out of these Live PD episodes. And in one of them, this Officer Sticks gets on there and he says, "Yeah, we're looking for a reason to pull you over, and then we're looking for a way to get in your car."
Oh.
And I said,
that couldn't be more straightforward. Like, hey, I'm just going to be honest with you, kid.
I appreciate that honesty. I mean, we've been telling people that for years.
Yeah. Like, don't beat around the bush. Just tell me what's up.
See,
what you got?
The good thing where I was working and right before like I got hurt and it was coming out, it was heroin. Like all our main concern was heroin. Like if you had weed on you, I don't really think
you didn't give a shit.
Yeah, we weren't fucking with you. Like I could tell you, not say me personally, but I'm gonna say there's been times maybe a cop has pulled people over, smelled it, and was like, "All right, get on with your day." Like I don't give a shit.
Right. No, I mean that's really cool. In states where it's illegal, the smell is probable cause. I mean that's cool.
Yeah.
And there are plenty of cops who still do that. But what we tell people is, you don't know what cop you're going to get.
No, you don't.
Just be respectful.
Yeah.
Assert your rights respectfully. And I mean, we get DMs from all over the country, from the east, the west, deep south, thanking us. Like I got pulled over and I shut the fuck up and did the script and I was let go.
All over the world.
And I didn't get pulled out of the car because we get that too from people, minorities that we say that. Well, it might work for you, white boy, but for me,
you know what?
Get my ass beat.
I'll bet you get that a lot because I tell you this, I lived in West Berlin, New Jersey. It's just suburban. It's just how I was brought up. It like, you know what I mean? It had nothing to do with with my family because my family didn't care about color. I had friends of any color. It was just one of those things where it's like, yo, this is how you act, and this is how you get a response. Like dealing with cops in my neighborhood, and it was always like a friendly exchange. We just kind of cooperated with it, and never gave them any problem. And I never.
It sounds like you grew up. You grew up like we did in mid. Yeah, I mean,
little bubble. In a little bit of a bubble where we don't have to worry about that, but we do get it, and that's not going to work. And one of the main ways we try to counter that thought is let's look at what we're teaching, what it's not for, right?
Gotcha.
What we're teaching, the script and shut the fuck up. It is not to ensure that you don't get profiled and pulled over. It's not to ensure that you don't get a ticket. It's not to ensure that you don't get arrested. It's not to ensure that you don't get charged for misdemeanors or felonies. It's not to ensure that the cop's not going to harass you or beat your ass or kill you.
Yeah.
All those things happen at traffic stops, and we can't stop any of them. Okay. What we're saying is, if you listen to us, and as my brother said, calm, peacefully, use these 25 words, keep your mouth shut. If anything happens, what you're doing is preserving all of your rights, remedies, and defenses. If you have to go to criminal court to defend yourself and or going into civil court to bring a case that your rights were violated. So that is how it works. And in that way, it works for everybody because we get people who say, well, if I say that, the cop's going to rip me out of the car and beat my ass. And well, I'm sorry to say, they're going to rip you out of the car and beat your ass anyway. It's not because you said, I'm not discussing my day. I mean, that cop who's going to do that, they're going to do that to you no matter what you say.
Yeah.
And this way, like I said, you're preserving your rights. And more often than not, as we hear, the last 5 years, we've been preaching this on social media and throughout the country that people are just getting tickets and warnings. And it helps to de-escalate a situation because now it's really incumbent upon us as citizens now to de-escalate some of these cops who just want to, we've seen videos where cops lose their minds and the guy's showing restraint, and that's one other thing that while I'm thinking about it is all those instances where people are getting ripped out of the car and the cops breaking the windows and all of that stuff usually starts when a cop doesn't want to tell you why he pulled you over and wants to get you out of the car before anything else. And, really, they're supposed to tell, if you haven't committed a crime or alleged to have committed a crime, you don't have to show ID, but because of the archaic Supreme Court laws that we have that go back to, the 60s, cop pulling you over, after he rips you out and he wants to justify it, all he's got to do, I thought I saw a weapon, so I had to clear the car for my safety. That's it. Yeah. That's it. And so when a cop says, get out, get out. When a cop wants your ID, give your ID. And so the people that we're hearing from who are, doing this from all over, all races, it's leading to, hey, I'm on my way. And then they get thrown in, oh man, and I had 15 pounds in the trunk, It's like, well, I don't want to know. I don't but it's a way to preserve all your rights, and it works in that sense for everybody.
Okay. All right. I do have I have a few questions, of course, I want to ask you guys, and Mark, I want you guys to go back and forth. I'm gonna let Vinny talk real quick.
Yeah, respond. See, now, like on New Jersey on that, so when you stop someone in New Jersey, immediately they have to hand you your license, registration, and proof of insurance. And a cop doesn't have to tell them anything until they get those documents. And then once they hand those documents, then it's, this is why I stopped you. This, and this. And then it goes on from there. I can tell you from experience.
Yeah.
If I walk up to that car and it's, hi, how you doing? And you have a smile on your face, I'm going to go out of my way to cut you a break. But if I walk up to that car and it's just, fuck you, you stop, just
right.
yelling at me.
If someone's been aggressive, you tend to be the same way back.
Right.
How am I going to get you? I'm not going to yell back at you. That's fine. I can just go about my way and just find violations on your car and write your tickets.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, that's why we hear.
That's what people don't understand. Like, it's all about that first and that original. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm big bro. I'll talk louder than everybody in the room. So don't feel bad.
No, we want to hear what you say, man.
I learned that in the deposition when I was a very, very young attorney from a court reporter who said, he who talks loudest gets on the record till I throw my hands in the air. That was from a court reporter.
I like that one.
I mean, we preach, be respectful to the law enforcement officer. Don't yell and scream at him. When you try to talk to him, and we trick people on our script challenge by asking them when the cop first pulls up, what do you say? And the first line of our script is, why did you pull me over? And the cop instead says to him, nice hat. Where'd you get that hat, brother? That looks like a cool hat. I'm not discussing and they usually say, I got it down the street. No, wrong answer. Because that's just, that's either the nice cop or the cop just kind of buttering you up a little bit. It's
one of the two. Slip up.
Since you don't know, I'm not discussing my day, sir.
Why did you pull me over?
And we find a lot of DMs where it disarms the cop, the law enforcement officer. Like, this guy's being respectful. He knows his shit. Like, I'm going to move on to the next guy who doesn't.
Yeah, like why? Yeah, it's not a hassle.
So we really do preach respect to law enforcement, and don't yell and scream. And we heard, who was that out of?
Oh, I know. Out of West Virginia, a police chief who has night shift. He has all his officers stand up before they go out and recite the script.
And I was talking about the other police chief who said,
North Carolina.
Comply and complain later.
That was the police chief out of North Carolina.
Sometimes that is easier.
You know what the problem is? The problem is this. When I find myself saying that, like, I want to keep you safe. I want to keep my friends safe. I want to keep all my minority friends safe. And if you just comply and complain, even if the cop has absolutely, let's just say he's completely wrong.
Yeah.
Everything he's doing or asking you to do, completely wrong. It doesn't matter. Get out, comply, complain later.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is the flip side of that is, how long do we lay down?
Yeah.
And I think that's what's kind of happening now.
Yeah.
It's really unfortunate. It's resulted in deaths and, mayhem and all that shit. It's just, I don't know. I think the law enforcement's philosophy has to really and truly be protect and serve, period. Yeah. Not all these governmental agencies that have revenue sharing from asset forfeiture. There's so much stuff involved in that. Like, not every cop certainly is bad or corrupt.
I get exactly what you're saying.
The system in that sense is corrupt. Because the more I can forfeit, get your shit, and we might even bring charges. Yeah. Asset forfeiture is a brutal mechanism.
So So I did have some questions for you, and I'm gonna let Mark take the lead on this one. We're gonna kind of go back and forth on this.
You got it.
Where would you say, I guess, a majority of these cases are coming out of? Like, is it coming from inner cities? Is it coming from suburban areas? Is it just from everywhere? I mean, where are you getting most of your cases, like these cases, from?
So in California, I mean, it is kind of everywhere, but a lot are coming right out of LAX.
Okay.
LAX, and this is good. This is good for people who travel. I mean, it's horrible. It's horrible. Now you have people who are legit trafficking and getting their shit through, and that there's that that's happening, and those guys. I'm not talking about them. I'm not talking
there's
about.
There's always going to be those guys.
Before I let Mark get into it. Now, can you break down real quick what are the top common laws in Cali with the legalization, like traveling with it, driving with it, all that, and then the pricing on it? Because I was just talking about this when Jersey legalized it. I was like, if they have it so high, no one's going to buy it from them. They're just going to go through it. Their dealer who's still getting illegally for cheaper.
Yeah, the black market is booming.
What are you saying?
Yeah, I mean they've so overregulated and overtaxed it in probably every state because of the goddamn politicians. The only way they can jump on board and back this shit and back the ordinances and back the initiatives that get put on state ballots is for the money.
Yeah, that's all it is.
And it should be because it's medicine. And I'm not a CPA. I don't do math, science, all that shit. But isn't it pretty simple that if you lowered the tax from, it's right now in California, effectively all the way up the chain to the consumer, anywhere from 40 to 45% effective tax.
So how much? Let's just see how much. How much is an ounce? If you bought an ounce at a store,
going to the dispensary and buying.
How much would an ounce be?
By the time you even.
You know what, Mark? Do you know that? Because my kid gets.
I don't. We fortunately have relatives and clients that
we get samples that are not for sale.
So you guys are just living the dream, more or less.
But I did got to go buy my edibles. I just spent a few $100 on edibles because they're
rolling out their edibles like next month or something.
All right.
See, I can tell you like an ounce. If I was going to get an ounce at the dispensary, I believe it's like $400 because a quarter is around for a high tier is normally like $100 to $110 for a quarter.
Wow.
So
for a quarter, I hear eights going for anywhere between. I mean, there's places that are doing $40 eights still, but I doubt the quality. I bet the quality's not very good. They're doing volume, and if that's what people can afford, power to them. If they get high, But I think it's 60 to 80 for an eighth, or I haven't gone into many stores and I've purchased some joints. Been placed. Oh, I need to get a joint. I want to pick this up, or I want to pick up some creams. Creams are fucking expensive.
Creams
can get in the $60, $80, $100 range.
Oh my god!
Like what kind of creams are you talking about? Like
for like shoulder rub, joint pain.
Like CBD or like some THC stuff.
But THC.
Gotcha.
With THC in it, you got to have both to get that entourage effect.
Yeah.
This
look at the CBD.
This company actually.
Although the CBD works, I'm a believer in straight.
I love
absolutely.
Yeah. We have our CBD line coming out in about a couple weeks.
Who's your CBD cream? Who's your sponsor?
Access Labs. So I actually picked them because the reason why I love them so much is because they're all organic and everything, and they don't do like the food coloring and preservative shit and all that stuff. My fiance yells at me about eating anything with that shit in there.
My girl just bought something.
It worked out like perfect. They're like my favorite company, and like I reached out to them. They like, oh, we love your content. Yeah,
good.
Hey, so the laws in California, you were asking about the laws pertaining to cannabis in California.
Yes, back to that question. Mark.
Bring it back a little bit.
So for that question, and just to add, so you said it was happening in LAX, right? So I want to ask, what's the minority rate right there? I mean, is it how many?
I think it's not. I think for what he's talking about, what he's going to tell you, the influx of cases we're getting, we still get your normal cases that happen in the city and different cities in LA, California. But this is something more specific, and I think it's actually, you tell me, but I think it's actually non-discriminatory.
I'm going to tie that question into another question later on, so that's good. No, keep it going.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, it's what it is. It's people who are like I was starting to say. It's not people who are bringing pounds over and trafficking like that. It's people who are coming here from other states where they have a medical card from wherever they're from, and they come here to California and they go get a medical card here. And then they go into a licensed shop and they, here you're allowed with your medical card, you're allowed to possess up to 8 ounces. So they'll come here and really technically the medical card is for California residents.
Gotcha.
And so, but people, you can come here and you can go get it. Anyone can go get it. And most places and they don't care. And prosecutors and judges don't even really understand that. And so if you have a recommendation, it's going to work for these purposes. And having up to 8 ounces. So they might go to 2 or 3 different stores, legal licensed stores, make their buys, have 7 or 8 ounces, get back on the plane. And then the next thing they know, they're getting stopped. Their bags are searched because, they have everything all lumped together and it just looks like a lot of stuff. What is it? They look at it and then they're hit with felonies. It's a felony to export any amount of cannabis out of an airport, both at the state level and the federal level. So it could be either, depending on however they want to come at you. Mostly what we're seeing is just state. You're getting those felony charges. And where we've been able to maneuver is when these aggressive DAs or cops arrest and then charge for possession with intent to sell. Like, hey, you're taking it from here because we got the good shit, and you're taking it back to your state, and you're going to go sell it over there. And so long
it's like
as
a 2C charge or something like that, or something. I forget what the charge is or something like that, but it's like you get charged for it. It's like having an act to distribute.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't,
because what you get, so it's transportation and then possession and possession for sales. Those are all the potential charges. And then when they hit our clients with possession for sales, the ones who have their medical recs from the other places and they got the one here, and we get declarations from their doctors, they have legitimate injuries and illnesses and things they need the cannabis for. And so we have that type of information to be able to argue, no, look, just getting good stuff here and bringing it over here. Here's the medical records. Here's the doctors. I mean, you can't just
out so fast.
You can't just say it. You got to have the evidence to back it up. And then we are, able to get charges like that, drop. Hey, you're not gonna be able to prove he was trying to sell it. He's bringing it for himself.
I know people that have, that live in New Jersey and gone to LA or whatever, and they're like, I got some weed from dispensary, and they'll come back with it. I'm like, can you do that?
Or like, edibles. Edibles are
big. They don't check, and I'm like, you sure?
Yeah. So and that is simply getting away with it. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
They got caught.
And I'll say, the vast majority of people who fly with cannabis get away with it. But it's like if you go out, this month and you ran 10 red lights and you didn't get a ticket, you didn't get one ticket. Running red lights is not suddenly legal because you didn't get a ticket. So, and that goes with any crime, but we get a lot like people, well, I do that. I've done that. My friend's done this. And that's great. That's good for them. But guess what? Well, I bet you because we represent the people. Fuck, this was my first time. Man, all my friends have done it, and they've done it for years. I didn't know I couldn't do that. I go through, what did I do wrong? I go, nothing. They just
they knew they couldn't
They got lucky, and you're a fucking idiot.
All got away with it. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's always the excuse, though. I didn't know I couldn't do that. Oh, my bad.
So, and that's not
Anson, what were a lot of the common rules that come with legalization in Cali? Like, what can we expect in Jersey?
Way too many.
Because I know,
too many.
I already heard you can't have you can't grow any plants right at your house or anything.
No.
That sucks.
No, wait. Are you talking about Jersey or California?
I I heard Jersey, you're not going to be able to have any at your you're not going to be able to have like a plant to grow at your house or anything like that.
Baby steps,
like,
man. They got baby steps. It's baby steps.
I'm like, we just got it, man. We're just happy that
I was just curious.
Okay now.
I didn't know like how much.
No, so over here, if you're an adult, 21 and older, you can grow up to 6 plants on your property, so long as it's out of the view of the public. If you have a physician's recommendation and you're a patient, you can grow what you medically need, but you have to be able to back it up if you are doing that and growing 100 plants.
Gotcha. You can't just be like, oh, well, I was getting the process. I had the paper. Like, no.
Stubbed my toe yesterday. I need 20 plants in my house.
You bring something up. Okay, out here in California, you got something called the 99 plant rec, or the 250 plant rec that people get from doctors who, long ago, when Prop 215 came out and said you needed to have either an oral or written recommendation from a doctor. You don't even need it in writing, just a doctor saying it, who will then have to testify later if necessary. Then some smart doctor said, well, I'm going to put an expiration date on this. You got to come back next year and buy it again from me. And I'm going to write, you can have 99 plants because I'm a doctor. I'm just going to write it. And then you can pay, 3 times the amount for that one. And it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. You don't need any of that. And people would come to us after getting busted with their 99 plants. Here's my 99 plant rec. And then we'd start asking them, what is your injuries? What are your illnesses? What kind of medical records do you have that we can use to support why you need all this for yourself? Oh, I'm not using it for myself. But the doctors get. I go, well, you're fucked. You're going to jail. That was, that was how things worked back then. But that's still running rampant, and doctors just ripping off cannabis medical patients who thought they were getting more protection, when they weren't.
Even here, I always thought it's $200 a year, I believe, for your card.
Wow,
ridiculous.
Yeah,
they don't make you pay for opiates.
It's a money grab.
It's all it really is at the end of the day. But I mean, like you guys said, it's baby steps. At least we got.
Yeah. What has to happen? There's an initiative out here called CCHI, and they've tried to get on the ballot for 20 years, and it would literally get rid of all the over regulations. It would basically treat it like beer and wine, and period. That's it. Beer and wine doesn't pay a 48% effective tax at the end of the day because everybody's taxing it all the way up the chain.
Bullshit.
That's you don't need these exorbitant application packages you need to file with the city and state levels to get your city permit and state license. The fees they charge are ridiculous. So you need to get an initiative by the people that's going to say, if you can pass an initiative in a state, I can't remember, it might be like 2/3 of the actual, not by 51%, but by like 2/3 or some super majority, you can overcome the state implemented regulations. And that would replace it. Okay. And that's the only way it's going to happen is if people stand up and go, and the initiative here in California would literally get rid, it would be true legalization because they would be getting rid of the penal code section for all of weed. Gotcha. No more penal code section. Now we still have one that says if it's more than an ounce, it's a misdemeanor. If you're doing this, it's a misdemeanor.
It'd still be felonies too. There's still felonies too.
Let me ask you. Another question for you. So Craig, let me ask you this one. I'll start you off with this one. So let's say offender, they were pulled over and they had an eighth on them, whatever, and they got charged, whatever the charge would be, right? And so now weed is legal in New Jersey. Would that affect their charge by any less of a sentence or not sentence, but a charge on the record?
Well, that's interesting, Mark. I might have to let Mark chime in.
Okay, Mark's ripping a dab, bro.
I'm sorry.
What was the question?
I got two questions.
In most states that have legalized it, if you have a charge or a conviction for a non-violent marijuana crime, that now holding back when I was a kid, a joint was a felony. So if I had a felony because of that back when I was a kid and they passed this new law, that felony would go to zero, to nothing, because now holding a joint is completely legal.
Wouldn't just go that way.
If I was selling a bag of weed this much, that was a felony.
Yeah.
Now it would be a misdemeanor.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but you have to file. You have to file for it. You got to file papers to make the change depending on where you are. That's something that's kind of fucked up. Is in like here, California is a perfect example. When they reduced all of these felonies to misdemeanors, and like my brother said, you had a felony from 10, 20 years ago. Now it'd be considered a misdemeanor, or it might even be considered not even breaking the law. So you have to, it's incumbent upon you in most cities and counties around California, it's incumbent upon you to go get an attorney, to go file the paperwork, to get the motion, to do the motion for the reduction or dismissal of the case. And why should you have to do that? It should just be purged. Like I believe San Francisco, Oakland, there's been a couple of cities and counties that have done, the DAs have ordered and done just that. Where if you have these crimes, it is automatically purged and gone. But by and large, in most places, you gotta hire somebody to go get it done.
Yeah, you would have to get your lawyer or attorney, whatever. I'm saying, hey, look, I'd like to get you.
Sure, Jersey's gonna go that route.
Yeah, you're gonna have.
You're definitely gonna have to hire someone.
Yeah,
they're all about their money.
Yeah, they're gonna be calling you guys up like, hey, man, hey, you guys got this.
We're gonna need you guys down in Jersey.
Oh my God! All right, so
I love Jersey. Every time we go to New York, we come to Newark and we stay in Jersey at the Double Tree right there near the airport. And I've met some great fucking people out there smoking my weed out in the fucking parking. And actually at the bar there, the airport bar is fucking great. I've met some great people out there.
Have you ever been to like Philly area?
Long time ago. Normally we come in and we stay in Jersey and then we go over and then stay in Manhattan somewhere.
Yeah.
But we had to cancel fucking, we were supposed to be there in May. We had to cancel and we were supposed to be there next May. We just figured it's probably not the time. We love to go to little dive bars and hang out.
COVID. I love that. I don't drink anymore, but when I did, dive bars were my
it's not the time. Not the time.
We got another year. We got another year. You know, the Spanish flu was like 2 years.
I am going to Cancun though.
Nice. What? Wait. So you guys have your own weed, like weed brand? Or?
We actually, what we have is we're just coming out with our own CBD line of
nice
gummies, creams, tinctures, stuff like that, balms.
The gummies and the lotions are the two best things, I think.
It'll be
bath salts I got. Sellers use CBD. My fiance picked up, which was great too. I was like, I'll use this.
We are looking at a weed line though, but it's hard for a non-licensee to license their name to a weed brand. It's tricky. I know a lot of big guys are doing it. There's ownership issues involved and licensing issues.
Yeah.
We've actually we're looking forward to the day that we can actually do that.
I was gonna say there's probably a lot of paperwork to do.
Because you guys said Mark, you said that you were doing. You've been doing this for what, 8 to 10 years? And
what?
Then, how long have you guys been doing the marketing?
Practicing law, or you just
practice.
5 years. 5 years social media. It started from zero.
Okay.
We've been doing this stuff for all our career. We just it was just what we do.
Yeah, but that's Pot Brothers. Yeah.
That's why I think when we created the Pot Brothers at Law and fell onto Instagram 5 years ago, what we did wasn't planned out. We didn't mean it to be entertaining yet, educational. We didn't mean for any of that. We just, what can we do? Let's do it. And that's just kind of like us.
Yeah.
We do. And then it just organically took off like, where now.
And that's what I was drawn to, because I'm a big believer in you should know your law. Like if a cop stops you, you should actually know what you should be able to do and not do. Yeah. Because I always said this. I've always thought there's more power hungry assholes in the line than racist anyone being racist. I think it's just someone looking for a vulnerable person and taking full advantage of it. Because I witnessed it. I've seen it firsthand. I worked with those guys where I'm like, God, you must have gotten fucking picked on in high school.
Yeah, they got bullied. Now they're the bully.
Well, you know what? I mean, it's great that you say that, and there are plenty of other videos out there of white people standing up for their rights in the car. I mean, there's this one I think it went viral. The biggest one I've seen is guy was just really wasn't even arguing with the cop, and that cop just went, and then just ripped him out of the car, like because the guy was just hey, and the great cop was gonna. Pardon me?
I was just saying the great thing now in today's world, there's video everywhere. They're wearing body cameras. They're wearing body cameras, and if you don't feel comfortable, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because if the guy's doing something wrong, he shouldn't be a cop.
Yeah.
No,
you can't control that. You know you can't control that, but some people can put that nice smile.
Well, I mean, I think the whole defund the police thing was whoever coined that was on the right. Whoever coined that phrase, because it really never meant what it said. And just as a segue to what I was going to say, because I think that's the wrong message. It's re-educate.
Yes.
Repurpose.
Yes.
When a rookie comes in, and it's about if someone blinkers out, or like what we get a lot of pullovers that lead to other stuff because the little light that illuminates your license plate. Not your brake lights.
Yeah.
Not your tail lights. The little light above your license plate's out. That's
air fresheners hanging from
air freshener hanging there. Little stupid things.
Cracks in your windshield. Something people don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff.
I mean, they're either going to. So they need to repurpose their brains of, your blinkers out, pull you over. Instead of going fucking what can I see? Right up the bat, you see them. I have a real good friend who's a vet who's trained officers on approaching vehicles, and just the art in approaching a vehicle and looking in the crevices of everywhere when you first walk up, right down on the side where you walk up, they can look, they can see it. It's wide open. It's an open view, plain sight. So the thought process should be, instead of that, it should be, ma'am, sir, your blinkers out. If someone coming the other way didn't see you making a left, it could be a very bad accident.
Yeah.
Here's a ticket. Go get it fixed. Show us you got it fixed. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's a gun on the car, I mean, what are you going to do? But for the most part, that whole mindset has to change. How that happens, I don't know. I'm not a psychologist.
Yeah,
you just have a notion. You're like, look, I think this definitely should go into effect somehow, but we got to implement it somehow. Educating.
I mean, maybe it's just simpler than it sounds. It's people overthink it. It's protect and serve.
Yeah,
If someone's doing something bad, I mean, I'm pretty liberal, but I think when you have car chases and someone's speeding high speed down your neighborhood, I personally think that they should be dragged out of the car and beat on TV.
Yeah.
Because your kid, my kid, your mom, your dad could get killed in that chase. So how about that from a liberal?
I'm always yelling at people with that. Like, slow down, asshole.
Like, dude, I mean, that's the one really one instance I can think of. But I mean, people are doing crime. They should do the time. And, there should be officers. That's what you go into law enforcement for, is to protect and serve, not the majority of the contact that we see, that some of it's so unnecessary in the first place.
And it stinks because, like, I saw it from both ways. Because when I was working, it started with Baltimore stuff back in, like, 2013.
How do you watch The Wire? How close was it to The Wire?